Hello learners, this is Habeeba with Excelwithme. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is Descriptive Statistics of Paper Research Methodology, subtopic Measures of Central Tendencies, Mean, Median, Mode. These are the simple statistical methods generally we use in our research calculations. Whatever we have collected the data, we do the treatment, statistical treatment. Under that, first step could be mean, median, mode, that is central tendencies. The term central tendency was coined because observation, that is numerical value, in most data show a distinct tendency of the group to cluster around a value of an observation located somewhere in the middle of all observations. It is necessary to identify or calculate this typical central value to describe the characteristics of the entire data set. This descriptive value is the measure of central tendency, and methods of compiling this central value are called measures of central tendency. Now let's see the definition of this. According to English and English 1958, measure of central tendency is a statistic calculated from a set of distinct and independent observations and measurements of a certain items or entity and intended to typify those observations. Now, according to Chaplin 1975, central tendency refers to the representative value of the distribution of scores. That is, measure of central tendency provides us a single summary figure that best describes the central location of an entire distribution of observation. If we take the achievement scores of the students of a class and arrange them in a frequency distribution, we may sometimes find that there are very few students who either score very high or very low. The marks of most of the students lie somewhere between the highest and the lowest scores of the whole class. This tendency of the data to coverage and around a distribution named as central tendency. Now let's see the definitions of mean, median, mode. In statistics, we use a term called statistical distribution. This actually tells us how a group of data is distributed in a population. In statistical distributions, there are actually two types, that is the discrete random variable distribution and the continuous random variable distribution. Now, the discrete random variable distribution means that every term in the distribution has a precise isolated numerical value. An example of a distribution with a discrete random variable is the set of results for a test taken by a class in school. The continuous random variable distribution has generally values within an interval or span. To give an example, scores of test taken by 5 students are 45, 55, 59, 50, 40. These are independent scores and called discrete scores. If the same scores are given as 45 to 47, 48 to 50, 51 to 53, 54 to 56, 57 to 59 and so on, then this is called continuous random distribution. In the later continuous distribution, a term can acquire any value within an unbroken interval or span. Such a distribution is also called a probability density function, which is used in weather forecasts. Now let's see the mean. Mean is the average of all the scores in a discrete or continuous distribution. Method of calculation of this mean is different for discrete distribution and the continuous distribution. This average calculated is called the mean or mathematical average. It is easier to calculate mean from discrete data by adding up all the scores of maybe x1 to xn and divide by x1 plus x2 plus continuous divided by xn. On the other hand, to calculate mean from continuous distribution, a formula has to be used, and generally there are more than one method to calculate the mean from continuous distribution. Now median. The median is the midpoint. Median itself tells you the midpoint of a series of data. It is a discrete data and having even number of scores 5, 7, 9, etc. Then the middle item leaving equal number of scores below and above the middle item is considered to be the median. If the discrete data is of even number, then the middle two items have to be added and divided by 2 to get the median. From a continuous distribution also median can be calculated, but as mentioned in the case of calculation of mean, here two certain formula has to be applied. Median thus is the 50th percent item in a series, whether it is discrete or continuous. Now mode. When the data is arranged in a frequency, that is, for example, all the test scores obtained by 15 students in English, certain scores like 55 marks out of 100 may appear 4 times. That is, 4 students would have scored 55. For example, 45, 55, 43, 44, 55, 45, 65, 63, 67, 55, 41, 42, 55, 67 like this. The remaining have scored different marks in the test. At one glance, we could see that the largest number of times a score appears is 55. Here you can see, here and here. That is by 4 students, while all other scores appear only once. Thus the mode here is 55, which has appeared the largest number of times, or we can say 55 has the largest frequency of 4 students getting that mark in English. Thus, one may state that the mode of a distribution with a discrete random variable is the value of the term that occurs the most often. It should also be kept in mind that there could be 4 students getting marks of 65. Thus, 55 and 65 both have a frequency of 4 students each, and both can be considered as the mode. Thus, it is possible that for a distribution with a discrete random variable can have more than one mode, especially if there are not many terms. A distribution with 2 modes is called bimodal. A distribution with 3 modes is called trimodal. The mode of a distribution with a continuous random variable is also called with the help of a formula. A measure of central tendency provides us a single value which represents the characteristic of the group. The mean, median and mode are most commonly used as measures of central tendency. Mean can be computed for grouped and ungrouped data. This is the only measure of central tendency based on all the scores in the series. Median is the score or value of that central item which divides the series into equal parts. Median is the midpoint of the class intervals. Mode is the most frequently occurring value, as we have seen that 4 students getting the highest marks. So we come to the end of this class. I will come up with the next class in the next video. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Thanks for your attention and time. Happy learning.